Thank you for tuning in to the Babethomherman Show with your host here, Herman Thomas, on 750 AM WAUG out of Raleigh, North Carolina. There's no bigger topic than tomorrow's matchup, Super Bowl 46, with the New England Patriots facing the New York Giants. New England, of course, led by Tom Brady, and the New York Giants led by Eli Manning. But I think what's been taking the bye week going into the Super Bowl has been taking a back seat to the controversy taking place in Indianapolis with the Colts and their owner Jim Irsay and Peyton Manning. Of course, with his neck injury, with some of the nerve damage, there's a cloud of, doubt whether Peyton will ever play professional football again. And also, if he does, with the Colts having the number one pick, a lot of experts, or so-called experts, and couch coaches, which I call them, are saying that, the Colts would choose Andrew Luck with the first pick of in the NFL draft. There's, a plus and minus in that. I think Peyton's due over somewhere around 24 to 28 million if Indianapolis decides to keep him. So money is the issue. With this taking place, and with the Colts making so many changes, of course the firing of Jim Caldwell last week, and prior to that the general manager. And with all those changes, of course, there's some friction at the Colts camp. Peyton going to the media saying that it just seems like a different atmosphere since even I think the trainer was fired. And I think that kind of ruffled Peyton's feathers a little bit, and he made some statements that owner Jim Irsay said that he should have kept in-house. Irsay labeling Peyton as a politician trying to play the media against him. Peyton coming back saying no, he wasn't, and it was just leading to a lot of endless verbiage between those two, and it seemed to be overshadowing the Super Bowl somewhat. But Peyton, being a bigger man, in my view, downplaying a lot of it, because I think that, of course, he doesn't want to overshadow the Super Bowl, of course, with his brother Eli in the Super Bowl this year, Super Bowl 46. I wouldn't be too surprised if it came down to the field goal kickers. We know what happened during the NFC Championship with field goal kickers. But, hey, that's what they get paid the good money for. I want to see a good game, and hopefully the fans will get their wish as well. And say I look forward to a great Super Bowl between two great teams, and two great teams in the history, not just this year, but the history of the NFL. Thank you for tuning in to the Babethomherman Show with your host here, of course, Herman Thomas, on 750 AM WAUG, sponsored by A Natural Skincare Studio out of Durham, North Carolina, the beautiful city of Durham, North Carolina, of course, with the owner, Eugenia A. Jones, who is a licensed esthetician and has been performing services for a combined 22 years of esthetician manicure experience. So give her a call at 919-416-1490. With that being said, I think the most surprising player in this year's Super Bowl 46, and throughout the season, has been the Giants wide receiver Victor Cruz. Cruz was signed as a free agent. And it's very interesting of how the Giants obtained Cruz's services. And I'm going to just let you listen to a feed a little later on by Armani Toomer. This time, let's get to the coaches. Of course, we know the coach for the New England Patriots is Bill Belichick. If he should win this Super Bowl, this will be his fourth win, making him 4-1. He will tie legendary Pittsburgh Steelers coach Chuck Knowles with the most wins for a head coach, winning head Super Bowl coach, if you want to call it that. Tom Coughlin will be going for his second if he should win. Let's go more into detail in the Belichick. This Super Bowl in particular, there won't be any distractions like Super Bowl 42 when the Giants and New England first played. Won't be any what's called the Spygate. I think that caused a lot of distractions, and it's not making an excuse for the New England Patriots, but it was a little distracting to hear about Spygate. It was getting a little old because I think in reference to Spygate, Belichick just got caught. It was going on, and it probably still is going on by many teams. But he's one of the coaches that were notorious for spying, and he finally got caught in reference to the Spygate. But Tom Coughlin, of course, it seems like every year Coughlin's on a hot seat. But for some reason, around the last portion of every season he's been there, it seems like that the Giants do finish off strong. Like I stated in the beginning, the Giants were decimated by a lot of injuries to key players during the first half of the football season. You can blame that on the shortened preseason, because as you can see in the NBA, a shortened preseason, you have a lot of players blowing their knees out with ACL tears. So those things happen, and they are part of the game. But the Giants seem to have overcome those issues and going strong at this time. This feed came from WEEI out of Boston, Massachusetts area. Listen to what former Michigan Wolverine and New York Giant Armani Toomer had to say about the acquisition of Victor Cruz and how he was selected as to be part of their team.
The only reason why they brought him in camp was because they have NFL sends them local players to try out, make sure that they give them a shot, because they're in the proximity of the team. Jerry Reese said if he lived a mile further out of where he lived in Patterson, they would have never brought him in. And the thing about that, and then he goes into this year's preseason. He had a big preseason game last year versus the Jets. Everybody heard about that. And this year, in the preseason, he's dropping all kinds of balls in practice. So they're still like, I don't know if he's going to make the team. Barely makes the team by the skin of his teeth. Then he gets a chance to play in the first game of the season. Ball hits him right in the hand, he drops it. Second game of the year, they bring in Brandon Stokely because Mario Manningham gets hurt. He has one game before Brandon Stokely gets up to speed, and he fully takes over that slot position, and he has the game of his life versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They sent Brandon Stokely packing, and the rest is history. He had 1 week. 1 week. Or he was gone. But he was gone.
That was such a refreshing story to hear in regards to Victor Cruz. It just shows what hard work and dedication will get you in the professional leagues, whether it's NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. That's one. I mean, just think if he'd have been a few miles past that Patterson, New Jersey line, the Giants would not have given him a tryout, and we wouldn't even be talking about Victor Cruz with the New York Giants right now. Him along with, of course, Eli Manning, this star quarterback for the Giants, along with that receiving core with Hakeem Nicks and Manningham. In my eyes, those three guys, Manningham, Nicks, and Cruz, are the best receiving core in the NFL at this time. I know many of you may be wondering what I'm going to talk about, the UNC Duke matchup, which is going to be next week on February the 8th in Chapel Hill. Should be a great game, but right now there's bigger fish to fry. The news for the weekend will be the Super Bowl 46 matchup between the New England Patriots, who are favored around 3.5, 4 points, whoever you want to believe or listen to, over the New York Giants. This will be a rematch of Super Bowl 40, the Super Bowl 42 matchup between the same two teams, in which the New York Giants won and denied the New England Patriots a chance to finish the season undefeated. In reference to this Super Bowl, like I said, it should be a great matchup, but the matchup with also in regards to the players, also look at the coaches. These two coaches, the Super Bowl will showcase once again two coaches that coached under the Big Tuna, Bill Parcells, when he was head football coach with the New York Giants, Tom Coughlin and Bill Belichick. Coughlin, of course, of the Giants, Belichick of the New England Patriots. Coughlin was a wide receivers coach from 1988 to 1990. And Bill Belichick, of course, was defensive coordinator a little longer from 1985 to 1990. What can be learned watching Coughlin and Belichick is no matter how much the game changes, there are certain things that never grow old. That's fundamentals, preparation, attention to detail, and a willingness to sacrifice. they are both purists in my eyes and understand how to get a team prepared, and not just prepared, but prepared to win games. No matter what the outcome of Super Bowl 46 is, these two guys, in my opinion, are winners. I'm telling you, I can't really believe this is actually Super Bowl 46. I remember the first Super Bowl I ever watched was Super Bowl 12 back in the late 70s when the Denver Broncos played the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys won, I think, 27-13, if I can recall. But the next Super Bowl, when Dallas was trying to repeat, Super Bowl 13 was probably one of the best I've seen. A situation where it was Chuck Noll versus Tom Landry. Tom Landry was more laid back, kind of conservative type of coach. Didn't say too much. Everyone seemed to dislike Chuck Noll, but Chuck Noll, both in the Hall of Fame. But Chuck Noll went down as one of the greatest coaches of all time, and currently leads the Super Bowl as far as winning coaches at 4. He finished the record of 4-0. And one thing you can remember about Chuck Noll is that he just had a flair for the game. He was very great coach, knowledgeable, with that tough steel curtain. And I just had the opportunity to interview one of his former players, and Tim Worley, former Georgia Bulldog and Pittsburgh Steelers standout.
Well, it was an honor to play for Vince Dooley and Chuck Noll. These are people that I've always heard about. Chuck actually before Vince Dooley, because I was always a Steeler fan when I was a little boy. And then I began to watch the Georgia Bulldogs when Herschel Walker came along. And I heard a lot of things about Vince Dooley and Chuck Noll, and I began to read up on some things. And actually, when I was in Vince Dooley's presence, it was just different. And there was an honor, there was a respect, and there was just a lot of history. And that's the thing that I was looking for. And it could have been intimidating, and it was at the time, being a young 18-year-old kid when I met Coach Dooley. But as time grew on, and as I became a better person and a better football player, the relationship developed where I could go to him and I wasn't intimidated by going to him. And Chuck Noll was the same way. I can say, out of all the coaches that I've experienced on that level, those two guys right there were the ones that left a serious impact on me as far as standards.
That once again was Tim Worley, former football standout for the Georgia Bulldogs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I stated earlier, this game could come down to the field goal kickers. It could come down to Gostkowski of the Patriots, or it could come down to Tynes, who has experience with game-winning field goals for the Giants. We don't know. It could be one of the best Super Bowls of all time. Could be the worst. Could be the Giants' defense makes an impression. Tuck, Canty, Joseph, Pierre-Paul. One of the best front four in football. Probably the best in the last few weeks of the season. Could come down to the quarterbacks. Great quarterbacks. Eli Manning. And, of course, Tom Brady. Green Ellis could decide that, since it looks like Gronkowski might see limited action with his ankle. It's been reported that, and whoever doesn't know Gronkowski, he is a tight end, starting tight end for the New England Patriots. Him along with Hernandez, one of the best, two of the best tight ends in the game. Can catch the ball, can block, great blockers. Green Ellis could be, we don't know what Coach Belichick has up his sleeves. Green Ellis could be a very vital part of this game Sunday. And also with Bradshaw back with the Giants, that makes them more flexible at running back, along with Brandon Jacobs. So there's